It definitely does seem that people's attention spans are decreasing nowadays, and we need to draw a goddamn line. It's so easy to just dismiss it and just say, oh, the next generation is so dumb they can't pay attention, until you realize that that next generation is going to be in positions of power over our kids, and we can't just ignore this, you know? I don't feel this is something to just bitch and, like, you know, moan about. This is something that needs to be addressed. I really do feel it that way. But let me get one thing straight. It is not ADHD like everybody and their mother seems to think they have. There is a big difference between finding it hard to pay attention for reasons and just not wanting to, and letting social media, you know, make you think that you can't when you damn well can. I'm gonna say it like that. You know, I'm sorry to burst people's bubble as someone who actually has ADHD. I had to say it. I'm not going to speak for every single ADHD person, but I can speak for a lot of ADHD people in saying it's not that we can't pay attention. We can pay attention. What we can't do is just do what we're told without knowing why we're doing it, what it means, and how it works. That is what we can't do. That's what we can't change. That is what we're unable to do. And trust me on this one, I wish I didn't have to be that way. I wish I could have just been someone that went with the flow, just did the norm, and, you know, just did what they're told and just live a normal career, instead of me just always trying to be a superhero and always thinking about the world's problems and trying and unsuccessfully trying to do something about it. I wish I could have chosen not to, but I couldn't, you know? I think about the way the world is going, and I just don't have it in me. I never had it in me to have just turned away from the things I'm trying to do with my life. I wish I was normal, but I'm not. I can't change that. You can't fight change. You can't fight gravity. To quote the not so great Dutch van der Linde, it's who I am. I've accepted it. I can't just be like a regular person, you know? And I wish I was, because I'm going to be real, right? I'm going to be 30 next year, and even though I'm getting places with where I want to be in life, I regret my life, and I'm going to say it. I regret myself, you know? I regret myself. I'm going to say it. My cousin told me a few weeks ago, oh my God, Vinay, I wish I could think like you. You have such an amazing mind and I look up to you. And, you know, I straight up told her, you do not wish you were me. You do not want to wish that you are someone who's hardwired to fight a losing battle against the world. And don't get me wrong, like, I do have some merits, just as everybody does. I do have a unique way of thinking, and yeah, I am happy to have that. But to be choiceless in trying to change the world in a world that doesn't want to be changed and maybe can't be changed, and to just be stuck between a rock and a hard place for having a good mind but being in the wrong world, wrong universe, I told her straight, you do not want to be me. I don't even want to be me. I'm being real. Moving back to the previous topic just briefly, right? When everybody and their mama thinks they have ADHD when the majority of them don't, as someone who actually has ADHD, I'm not gonna lie, I feel insulted. But it's not even that there's anything wrong with ADHD, like thinking different and understanding why you want to do things and, you know, thinking things through is good. The problem is that you're born into a world where the majority of people are not like you and the world is not designed for you. That's what makes it such a heavy burden to bear. Even though it doesn't need to be that way, it is that way. I don't know how anyone else with ADHD feels. Like, a lot of people, you know, feel like, you know, ADHD is a gift, or et cetera, et cetera. I feel like it has its merits and it has its, you know, it has its gifts in some ways, but you have gifts in a world that doesn't want your gift. That's a fact. So what are these things I'm trying to do with my life? So first and foremost, I'm a chemical engineering PhD student in sustainable hydrogen. And right now, I'm trying to change subjects to basically kickstart the world's very first eco-chemical engineering research endeavor, which basically involves termites to produce hydrogen. That's a big subject, which I can talk about later, but I think it can be big, and that's something I always wanted to pursue, given that I love the planet and love wildlife and want to do something really new and ass-kicking, which is great and everything, you know, because it's not like the planet is going to save itself. But here's the second thing, right? This channel, this math channel, pardon me, I should say, for, you know, non-British people. The second thing I've tried to do, this very channel you're watching right now is a math channel, right? Designed so, like, students can understand inside out really how maths works instead of just, you know, rewriting the formulas. And I got to tell you, you know, it was a huge mistake. I was wrong and stupid to think that other people were like me and that they wanted to learn things inside and out and have an illustrious career where they can make a difference and really be in control of their lives and take it by the reins and pilot their own life, etc. Because obviously, how you do education, not just getting the title, is very important to that. How you do it and how you learn is pivotal, with any given title. Like, there are two ways to get it. Just go through the motions or really understand what you're doing. But I was wrong, and nobody's really interested in the channel. I look at the click-through rates in my YouTube analytics. I look at the view duration, and nobody's biting, Like, it's easy to blame the YouTube algorithm, which to an extent, is to blame. But at the end of the day, the algorithm is decided by people's appetites for what people want to watch. And people aren't biting, and I made a huge mistake because I was stupid enough to think and bank on the notion that people would really want to learn, and that people were sick of just doing formulas and, not knowing the applications of maths and how it applies to the world. But I was wrong, and I made a huge mistake because I spent so much time on it. And I thought it would not only help people, but it would also raise my income to where I'm financially independent. I can fund research and, be well off enough to, eventually start my family and live the dream and have my family, But I was completely wrong, and it's bitten me in the ass, and I've accepted I made a huge mistake. And in that way, I have to start off from square one. People are not interested enough for me to monetize this channel so that I can fund my research and fund my life. Because I'm just only making enough to get by. I don't have too many savings, and that limits my relationship options. Because, it is hard to pursue a dream and have a relationship. And I can do it if, I have the funds, which I thought would come from here. But I've accepted that they're not. You'd even think, with how boring math can be, that this free YouTube channel, which is the first of its kind YouTube textbook, which goes into detail so people know what they're doing in the real life applications and so many other nice features, you'd think that people would want it, but no, they don't, unfortunately. And maybe it has something to do, I'm sure it does have something to do with those shortening attention spans, and that's why I say we've got to draw the line. And some of this is me being salty for things not going my way, but can you blame me? Can you? Making the channel was inspired by some of my hard times learning in my bachelor's degree, where, the teaching quality was really poor, and, it was a great strain to really understand what I was doing, which I did, but obviously it was made so much harder than it needed to be. So I made this channel, this textbook on YouTube to help other people like me, but it was worth doing, it was noble, but it was to no avail, unfortunately, And I hope I'm wrong about that and that it could help somebody in the future, but I'm not sure it's ever going to reach the people that, that need it and want what I have to give. I will also admit that part of me is still on the fence about this whole thing. There is a part of me that thinks that there's a way I can turn this all around and, finish the story. Shout out to Cody Rhodes. But another part of me thinks I need to cut my losses and just start fresh in life, You can't, like I said, to quote the not so great Dutch, you can't fight change, especially negative change, with people's attention spans, and you can't fight gravity. I really should remember the rest of the phrase, but all my attention is just on speaking candidly right now, because it's actually, I've realized when making this video how rare it is in my life for me to get the chance to speak without a filter, with no filter. And obviously I haven't had any nasty things to say, so it's all good. But wow, this video has taken a turn in a lot of ways, hasn't it? Just want to conclude by saying this was an unstructured, unscripted, unfiltered, I wouldn't say rant in a way, but, exposition of the things going on in my mind. And, I can't change who I am. I can't go back in time and talk to my younger self out of the choices I've made now. I can't change that. But, if there's anybody watching this video that resonates with anything I'm saying and wants to show me some support in any way, it would be greatly appreciated. In case maybe that part of me that thinks I can turn this around was right the whole time, So in that way, yes, I am humbly asking for help because I acknowledge that what I want to do, I cannot do it alone. Thank you so much for listening and have a lovely day.